Hello, 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 Crossroads, witches and other interesting magical beings. I know it's been a while. I've been thinking about y'all, if that's any consolation, actually. I was taking a shower, got out of the shower, did the blow dry my hair real quick, and as I was sitting there going through it, I was actually thinking about the magical community, thinking about some of the things that are out there, the tidbits. I don't get on social media very often anymore. I purposely put myself on a diet, decided to step back off a lot of the different platforms and instead have turned myself inwards towards the House of Witchcraft, towards the people that I stand in space with, and also towards my community here. I've gotten involved with some of the things going on with, getting involved with a food bank where I donate my chicken eggs to, because I got 14 chickens, so the very least, I can include farm fresh eggs in some of the boxes. And so also painting and all these other mundane things that I'm doing. And I'm thinking my life is so magical right now with everything that I have going on. I was lighting my candle up here and saying a prayer on, the being of service and how important that is right now, and the kindness and grace and all those other things. And I found that once I've stepped off of some of the decisiveness, some of the fear, the anger mongering, my mind is in a whole different headspace. I'll tell y'all, 3 or 4 months of a good detox from social media and digging in your own garden and having like real conversations with people does change how your brain's working. If you're involved in, our different music festivals, because I sure as hell don't want to get any of my videos tagged. If you're not familiar with what I'm saying, hashtag LA Music Festival is a good place to start on YouTube or on TikTok, going down, getting involved in what's going on there. I know I have, and not posting it. It's not about posting what I'm doing. I don't need to validate. I don't need to put myself out there. And I know for some folks, we do need to share. I'm just talking about me personal, all right? Where I started realizing I just need to step back. I need to make sure that I'm being, extra nice to the cashier at the grocery store, looking her in her eyes and telling her thank you, making sure that, when I'm in space with, folks in which I don't feel safe, that I'm saying words of safety. I'm being comforting. I feel like so much of what we're doing right now is censored. And that's why when I was sitting here when I was in the shower earlier, I was like, how the hell do I talk about what I'm doing without talking about what I'm doing? But I'm doing stuff, all right? And I do see some of the social media posts, and I also want to thank the folks that send me those beautiful emails. If I'm not responding, I'm sorry. All right, like I said, I'm really purposely stepping my engagement off, making sure that I'm putting my energy, my magic, into places that need it, into the community. I'm not just putting it out into the echo chamber of the matrix. I feel like people are like, ooh, I'll post it on the internet. I'll show them. And I'm thinking, we don't need you to post it on the internet. We need you to show up. We need you to help. We need those of us in which are able to give aid, because we got a lot of folks, I got too many stories in my head, but we have folks in genuine need, we have young families, working class folk families, trying to figure out how to put food on their tables. And so, yes, y'all can tell I'm like, ooh, those emotions came up, a little too connected. I need to do some grounded work and step back and down and away. But one of the things that really is amazing when I'm in all these different spaces is how much commonality we have, how we all get along. I was very blessed. I, like I said, I'm a part of doing some food assistance, and which is through a local church here, and they're very kind and everything. And I, talked with the pastor because my family is Southern Baptist, but I am not, but I still want to help. Not a problem. And so I'm standing there talking to a couple of ladies and, asked, of course, do you plan on joining the church? And of course I say, no, I don't. Not a problem. All right. Very low key, very nice. No pushing, didn't ask the questions. Instead, just smiled and included me. And it felt really good. Not all organizations, churches, religious, non-religious, whatever, not all are bad and not all are good. And, right now, a lot of our churches already have the framework in place to be able to offer assistance both in utility bills and in food. And so if you're able to lean into that, find a local one. Like I said, what I found, folks are really nice. Nobody's asked me any really deep questions, and I'm not out there trying to advertise. I try not to dress my gothic self. I try to do bright and cheerful. I think, what would my mom approve of? And to show up and to be of service. And again, the conversations I'm having with folks, we have so much in common. And then I get online and it's like, and I'm like, oh my God, the disconnect, And I see it even in our community. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole on the TikTok with is witchcraft political? And that had me thinking for a while. I saw this probably like a week ago because I've been, I remember painting, and as I'm painting, I'm thinking of, is it? And look, I'm going to tell you my opinion. All right. That's all I got. I'm not going to sit here and say it is absolutely this. It is absolutely that. And I think that's the biggest mistake right there. This is a question that if you ask every different magical practitioner, you're probably going to get a different answer on some level. They are going to end up in, because you're giving a binary choice, is it yes or no? And not taking into account all of the nuances can you be, an evil dark witch who's attaining power? Absolutely. You can be a really great, wonderful witch who's about empowering others. You can be any type of witch you want to be. But does that politicize it? And when we say political, are we saying? Are we saying that in the American context of, the elephant and the donkey, the R's and the D's, the reds and the blues, and you got to pick a side? Are we saying it within the context of ethics? Because it is within ethics that we get politics, all right? Hopefully there's some morals underneath that. Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. So is witchcraft political? I don't know. I believe that it is definitely has moral and ethical bounds, and that those vary according to practitioner. You can be a morally corrupt magical practitioner. I mean, ask Aleister Crowley. He was about as morally corrupt as they came. Excuse me. Or you can be, you know, beautiful, amazing, like I said, about empowering others. All right. Does that make it political? What is the politics of it? Are we putting more decisiveness, more us versus them? And I wonder how many of these are bots. Just wondering. I know I found out as I went down this rabbit hole and I was talking to some people that a couple of prominent people came out that are both for and against. Some say, yes, it is political. Witchcraft's always been political. It's part of the marginalized. It's part of the oppressed. This is where magic is from. This is what witchcraft's about. I agree with that. Others, witchcraft is not political. It has nothing to do with politics. It is magic. You can be a witch, do magic, and have nothing to do with politics. I agree with that too. I think, again, this is a false dichotomy. You're giving this either or choice, this binary decision making that either it is or it isn't. And I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think it depends on who you're asking, who you're talking to. In today's world, as a modern practitioner, yeah, I think it leans towards yes, it is. And that it is, again, the marginalized, the oppressed, the less than, the misfits, the left outs, you know, those are the magician, magical folks. And so they're probably going to be, you know, a little more liberal, progressive, socialist-leaning type folks. Because they want to work within the good of the community. And the flip side is we got the other side that's, you know, power hungry. I want it all. I will do magic to it for that. I mean, Papa Nico, my godfather, swears up and down the reason that the Bush family, the two Bushes that were in office, and then they did some other stuff. They've got big branches in Colombia. They got some dark money. Papa says the reason that both the Bushes got in is because they hired a Haitian voodoo priest to do magic for him so they could become big political players. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know magic can be used for very dark reasons. As just as quick as it can be used for good, it can be used for bad. And a lot of times we talk about magic as not, you know, black magic, white magic. It's not, again, this false dichotomy, this false binary choice that we're being given. And that what it comes down to is the individual. And I think that's where the question answer goes back originally that I was, you know, just sitting here talking about was, is witchcraft political? Depends on the individual. But what I do now is hollering at each other about it, making little shitty ass TikToks calling out each other and trying to pound your point of view in, whichever side it is. That ain't right. I know that. You're just adding to the anger. And I think that's what, you know, in the end, the oligarchy, the folks really in charge, they want us bitching at each other. And now they're in our community on some level getting us to bitch at each other over things we ought not to. We should be supporting, empowering, inspiring, encouraging. And if you come across a practitioner that's using their magic in a different way, honey, just walk out of the room. I can't tell you how many times over my 40 plus years, I have been in spaces where I've been like, ooh, I do not need to be here. Where I realize this is not my magic. These not where I want, and just back on out of the room slow and go find the people that are. If it is for you a very political statement, that's who you need to find folks with the same belief, because y'all need to bound together, because we need your energy to be working, because we need you right now. For those of you in which are like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Find folks like that. Work for healing. Work for empowering. Work for the betterment of not only our community, but the world at large. All right? Where it's not about politics. It's like right now we need healing. And work with that. And find folks in which share your beliefs. But bitching at each other damn sure ain't going to help any of us. And again, I see this social media is anything but social. It's designed to keep us and just like, dislike, how many views, how many comments, this constant need to be fulfilled, the next dopamine hit, and the middle of drama is good clicks. So people are, ooh, I want to see what she said. And people are stirring this energy, and you can feel it, all right? And after a while, you don't even realize you're in it. And that's when you're not helping us, is all I'm saying. You ain't helping, all right? Time to step off social media and really start talking to people. Start socializing. Start becoming part of your local community. And however you can do that, I'm not going to, you got to do this and all that. Not all of us are frontline protesters. All right. But it doesn't mean you can't show up at somebody's house the night before with a couple of cases of water so that they can take it up there. Just saying. Just saying. All right. There are so many things that you can do. And a lot of it doesn't. It's not how much money can you spend, because a lot of times I don't have any money. I can't do that. Oh, we need more than that right now. We need folks to be helping folks. And like I was saying earlier, getting involved in your local communities. And I know, and we have several good pagan communities as well. If you're lucky enough to be in an area that's got a great pagan community, has a large organization, reach out to them and ask, what can you do? What's going on? All right? Find out why they're having one of those, because I know like the 5051 folks here periodically do like meet and greets, local moots, very nice thing. Go talk with folks, all right? That like-minded people who are in the same space with you, where you can eye to eye have these really wonderful dynamic conversations, all right? Social media, texting, doing little ticky things, that ain't socializing. They're fooling on you. They're fooling on you hard, all right? And they put out those little shitty memes so that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. All right. And, and it's not a one side or the other type thing, honey. The oligarchy's on both sides. They just wear different colors. So, all right. It ain't no teams here no more. Okay. Working class folk. We have hard working class folk who make less money, while a very small percentage of our folks here make lots and lots and lots of money. All right. And I'm not going to go down all on that. But these are sort of my thoughts, and how do I keep all of these thoughts out of my way and make sure that I get up and I believe in America. I'm part of the crazy ass folks that I know enough history to know that our experiment in democracy has hit several roadblocks along the way, some of them really messed up roadblocks, that it's amazing that within 2 to 3 generations we forget about that, you know, with McCarthyism, with the fact that the Madison Square Gardens had the dude, but they gave a really big speech. This party did in Madison Square Gardens, and it was actually sold out. All right. And, you know, in the 1870s, we had a senator shot on the floor, killed by another senator. And they said, this was the end of America as we know it. Great Depression. This is the end of America as we know it. McCarthy area. This is the end. This is the end. Honey, they've been telling us the end's coming since before the times of Babylon. All right? Don't buy into that bullshit. We're going to survive. We're going to come around. Everything that was destroyed gives us an opportunity to create something new and better. That's what I'm saying. And this is how I have these internal conversations with myself. I don't have doom and gloom. I know that we've got tough times and we all need to be doing something to help. I know that I need to make sure that I take care of myself, mentally take care of myself. And that's why I stepped off of the social media thing. I got out of that. I felt like when I was just like, woo, I didn't realize how much yuck had gotten on me. All right. You know, for years I heard Papa be telling me internet's evil. And I was like, no, I can do it. And I lasted 5 years. Almost 6 years. Almost 6 years I lasted. And before I was just like, this isn't helping my life. I don't have a sense of self at the end of the day that I had. You know, I spent years working in a little botanica in Florence, South Carolina, seeing clientele, Papa fixing lunch, and feeling like I was part of something. And I thought I lived in a little world that needed to get bigger. And I realized, no, my little world was big. Members of the community, getting to know people over the course of years, and, you know, having the honor and privilege, you know, of being the dark witch, because that's a lot of times they'll be like, ooh, she's a dark witch, but she's nice. And that was how it started years ago with, I'm a happy dark witch. Yes. What you consider dark is actually walking in balance. But that for me was that finding my happiness mode again and realizing that social media was slowly taking pieces of me away. And what's important for me in my tradition, you know, I'm part of a lineage tradition that, you know, several generations at this point. How am I passing the magic to the next generation? How am I giving honor to my teacher, my mentors? How am I giving honor to Papa, who told me the internet was evil and I got on it anyway? You know, I had to go back and tell him he was right. And you know, being able to go back to the shop, things that made me realize that it's not lots, it's, you know, that quality over quantity, and how blessed am I to be part of a group that has amazing people in it. And we don't need lots to be successful. We already are. You know, I have worked really hard with passing to the next generation, with empowering the next generation. You sitting here watching this video. So many of you, you know, young, beautiful, bright, magical beings. You're doing good in a really hard time. And then again, I think back to the stories that I heard from many of the elders, because in the 70s, we dealt with the satanic panic, and which really hurt a lot of people in the magic community. A lot of folks really had to go in the closet. People moved to different states because of laws. There was all sorts of, oh, that's a sad story. Get out there, witches. I know it's tough right now. I think it's tough too. And make sure you're doing your self-care. Make sure you're mentally putting yourself where you need to be, being part of the solution, being out there. And some days it's as simple, like I said, just saying hello to somebody. Good job. Thank you. Please. Waiting patiently in line. You know, opening the door for somebody. You know, it's small acts of kindness. The butterfly effect. Think about it. If we all did small acts of kindness, it would this big, beautiful, you know. And so that's what we all can do right now. And don't fall for the decisiveness. Don't be getting in and stirring on icky cauldrons. They're icky. Back out of the room slowly. Go find a place that stirs cauldron with goodness and kindness. That is my wisdom as an old witch. Pay attention to the cauldron you're stirring on. All right, witches. Oh, and we have started this whole new program that I was supposed to say at the beginning of the video. And I just got the whole notes on it, and I will put it at the end anyway. Hey, if you like this video, you're watching till the end, all right? Of course, you can go join our YouTube membership, but if you're just like, hey, Taryn, I like you, you can get me a cup of coffee, all right? You can get a small one-time donation in the links below. Greatly appreciated. Because right now I've got to go get me some more egg carton things. So I am using it as wisely as I think it needs. Like I said, I'm using it wisely. All right. But with that said, witches, thank you all for being a part of my journey. And I still love my YouTube folks. Over the years, I have gotten to meet so many of you in person, and you're freaking amazing. And I'm talking about social media. I just want y'all to know I ain't talking about you, all right? And with that said, get out there, fly those brooms, have a bright, blessed day, and as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and ekbabo. Hey, witches, what do you call a group of witches in a hot tub? A self-cleaning coven.